Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, and it's your girl Legacy. So today I'm here to address a very important issue. That is why you don't see the bubbly Legacy or Priscilla that you know. Today I've been wanting to do this video like throughout the week, but I've been quite occupied, and so today I just said, look, just do this because I need to address a very important issue. I need to get things out of my chest. I know that I don't have like a very huge platform, but I still feel the need to use my little platform to address some of the inequalities and some of the injustices that happen in this world. And as a social worker, someone with a social work background, I don't think that I can just let this slip easily without, talking about it, because yeah, I'm very passionate about some of these things. So as we all know, on the 25th of May, George Floyd, that we've seen on social media. I know that when you go to all social media platforms, you see hashtag George Floyd, because on the 25th of May, this man died at the hands of a police officer. And, if you look at the video, it's very disheartening. This man virtually pleaded for his life. He said continuously, "I cannot breathe." He even went ahead to call his dead mother. Like, humanity, come on. Have we gone so bad that we cannot even feel it when people are lifeless? And this man, as we saw in the video, was already subdued. He was already handcuffed. There were police officers, according to some of the videos that we've seen, police officers who were at his back, and so it was very highly unwarranted for. And at the end of the day, putting his knee on this man's neck for close to 10 minutes, and he lost his life in the process. Come on. It's like, thinking about it is something, because one, I am a black person. Two, I have a black husband. Even though I don't have a son now, I can have a son in the future. And looking at my stature and the stature of my husband, my child could be like very huge, very thick and tall. So it hits me that would my child grow up in a society where black people, where by virtue of their color, are being it's like a death sentence to have, a dark skin or something like that. And funny enough, this police officers, or just this police officer who had his knee on George Floyd's neck, was fired and was not arrested. Let's reflect on this thing for a minute. So someone got arrested because he used a fake $20 bill in a grocery shop, and had to lose his life in less than 24 hours. And then the person who was responsible for this murder was just let go without being arrested because he is a police officer. No, I don't think anybody would accept this. And so that is what led to the protest. I know people have diverse opinions about the protest that is going on. Yes, I have to make it very clear that I don't support the violence that is going around. I don't support the looting, the fire, the burning of, places in the community. But let's also look beyond what is happening, look beyond the protest, and see that this is something that has been bottled up, emotions bottled up. There are people in the protest who probably have lost their family, their friends, their children to police brutality. And so this George Floyd was just like a spark for people to bring their attention of the situation. And it's because of social media. It's not like these situations have not been happening. It has been happening for a very long time. but then social media has made it like more known to the world, and now everybody is talking about it. Yes, we all want justice for Floyd, and you know, the damages that have been caused could have easily been prevented, because people were crying for justice. People wanted these officers to be arrested and charged, but it took them, you know, some time. And I watched the news throughout the week, and you know, some of the ex-chief police and all these high people in the police departments in the US and the Minneapolis, you know, area was saying that this is like the fastest that a police officer had to be charged. Come on, somebody died within 24 hours in the hands of this police officer. So like, drastic situations, I think, require drastic measures. And initially he was charged with a 3rd-degree murder, and yesterday I saw that the charges have been raised to a 2nd-degree murder, and the other 3 officers who were there have also been charged. Come on, did we need to fight? Did we need to get to this level before justice would be done? These people, like, we could have prevented these damages. We didn't need to get there. People just needed the justice. People just needed these officers to be arrested, but we were so reluctant. And now we've seen that, like, people are angry. And this is to show us that as Black people, we need to come together and support our brethren. Yes, and you know, for me, I can see it, the protest is not just Black people doing the protest. Looking at a lot of videos, I've seen like white people throwing things here and there in the shops, also looting, and all of these people, we don't know their intentions. But then some also will be committing crimes to sabotage this protest and make it look as if it's bad. So please, let's talk about this like in a more sensitive way. Let's not lose sight of the real issue. And I think that in issues like this, the media has an important role to play. The media is now shifting to, you know, the protests and what is happening, but the focus is on the problem. And if you don't deal with the roots, the problem, if you just, you know, just cut it, and over the years, I think that's the problem. We just, you know, it comes and he protests here and there, and then it dies off, and the problem still continues. The media has a role to help in seeking justice for this man and all others who have suffered the same fate. It's kind of crazy, you know, it's crazy. And I know that there are a lot of people in the diaspora who might think that, oh yeah, I'm in Europe, yes, there is racism, but it's systematic racism, and so like, you know, the police don't treat us like that. Wait a minute, this could be your reality if you don't know. Yes, it could happen to you. Do you know why? Because that is how slave trade started. From the little history that I did in Ghana, I read that, or I was taught that, the first Europeans who arrived on the shores of the Gold Coast came strictly for business. But with time, when some of them introduced slave trade, that is when, you know, all the other European countries and then the world at large came in, you know, and took slave trade as a business. So it just has to start with one. That is why we as Africans, we as Black people, no matter where we find ourselves, should stand with Black Americans in the US or with Africans in the US, because if we don't stop it now, it can be the new norm, and you might not know. See what happened in China, for instance, during this coronavirus era. Yes, and people keep repeating these things to Black people, and it hardens my heart. No one is saying that Black people should not be held accountable for their crimes. No, they should be held accountable for their crimes or whatever thing that they do wrong in the society. But this is the problem. So if a Black person commits a crime and he gets treated like worse or in a less human way than a white person, then that is the problem. And sometimes even white people who commit crimes, like brutal crimes, are treated better than like very simple crimes that are committed by black people. And I think about that and it worries my heart. For example, like, you know, the issue that we are all talking about, just because of a fake $20 bill. Probably he might or might have not known that it is fake, because I also had a personal experience during this quarantine period. I went to the ATM to withdraw some money. Then I went straight to the grocery shop in my neighborhood to buy fruits and vegetables. So after buying all that I needed to buy, I gave this guy a 50 euro bill, and then he passed the bill through the machine that detects if it's counterfeit or is real and all that. And then the machine beeped red, meaning that it's a counterfeit money like normally. And I was trying to explain, so he had to like try again. He tried like 2 or 3 times. It wasn't still like accepting the bill. And then he told me that I should pay with card, or like he doesn't know what to do. And there were other Italians who were just looking at me in a very like strange manner. Yes, I could have paid with my card, but then I wanted him to know that like I just picked this money from the bank, and it's not possible that the bank would give me a fake receipt. I showed him the receipt, the time of the withdrawal and everything. Unfortunately for me, there was another machine. Like they had 2 machines, so I asked him to try with the other machine. He tried and immediately went through like green. He was like, okay, and then, you know, he gave me my balance and I had to go. But just imagine this: if he had decided not to engage me, okay, and called out the police, if the police had come, a racist police had come and held me in a manner that George Floyd was held, probably I wouldn't be here speaking. And that is why this thing is hitting me so hard, because we go through some of these things on a daily basis. If it was fake, I wouldn't have even known, like, you know, given that maybe after going through the other machine, it still came out red. I took this money from the ATM. Okay, so how am I supposed to know that it's fake? It's like, I don't know. So there are some of the things that when they happen, let's not be so quick to judge. And it can be our reality anywhere. For a man to lose his life over a fake $20 bill and be treated the way he was treated, somebody that is clearly seen in the videos that he was not resisting arrest, I think that this is a time that, you know, America has to sit. And please, as a people, let's all stand. Whatever platform that you have, small or big, speak out. It is the little drops of waters that make a mighty ocean. And I'm also calling on all human rights organizations, all the big organizations who stand up publicly to talk about all forms of human rights abuse. Please come out and say, don't make it look like America is untouchable. Don't make it look like that, because I know very well that if this was a female genital mutilation problem in Africa, all of you would have been talking about it on your platforms now. I know that if this one was child labor, yes, the UN, all of them will be talking about it right now. So please, this is the time that we need to see that even these organizations, these international organizations that seems to be projecting human rights here and there, are not biased, are not racist organizations even in themselves. So I am calling upon you to come out to condemn what is happening in the US and make sure that right things are done, and people of color needs to be respected, needs to be given their rights, needs to be protected, needs to be treated as human beings. And for me, I'm also not surprised, because, you know, maybe those organizations, I think America is like, they're smart people to some extent. Because if you look at all the major conventions that the UN has brought, America has signed to most of these conventions, but you know what? They have not ratified it, and so they cannot, to a large extent, be held accountable. Like, can you imagine a whole America has not ratified the Convention on the Rights of the Child, has not ratified the Convention, CEDAW, discrimination against women, have not ratified the Convention of Social and Cultural Rights. Like, there are, you know, a bunch of rights that America have not ratified, even though they've signed, but they've not ratified these conventions, and so they cannot be held accountable. Yet these people have nerves to, you know, talk about democracies and governance in other people's country. Come on, this is the time that the world needs to wake up. Yes, we are saying Black Lives Matter. That does not mean that we are disregarding other lives. No, other lives are equally important. But now that we are addressing an issue, and this issue is Black lives. During the week, I read one interesting post, and it was saying that, yes, to say that all lives matter in response to Black Lives Matter, it's like there is a fire in your neighborhood, and then the fire service comes, and you know, you expect that they quench the fire in, I don't know. You expect that maybe if it's water they are using to quench the fire, you know, they pour water on, like, you know, on your houses as well, because yes, you have a house there, your house matters. Yes, but before they even think about all those things, they would go straight ahead to the house on fire, and everybody's interest will be on the house that is on fire. So yes, everybody's lives matter, but I think that we are talking about Black people now because it is us that have continuously suffered at the hands of the police, suffered at the hands of injustices within the systems, within countries. And so it would be nice for once that everybody supports. So when everything is said and done, we can all come together and talk about our lives matter, all lives matter. But now we are talking about Black Lives Matter because, trust me, you don't know how it feels like. And it also disheartens my heart about some of the comments that Trump is, you know, making a response to these things. Obviously, I can see that he's frustrated. Obviously, I can see that he's losing control, and you can sense it in his speech. But as one officer said, if you don't have anything constructive to say, just keep quiet. Just keep quiet, because you make it worse. See, you know, I've seen two different videos, and for videos of police officers who are trying to use force to dominate, that is where it gets really nasty, because then people resist and police officers are being hurt, whether they are good or bad, and that situation is dicey. And for those others, I think those in Houston or so, I saw that police officers even went down on their knees to make sure that they have a good dialogue with the protesters, and those ones were quite peaceful. So I think it's something that we should learn to meet people, because this is just not about George Floyd. Yes, George Floyd is the spark, but it is beyond George Floyd, and we should see it as such. We should just sweep it under the carpet and make it look like, oh, it's because they killed George Floyd and they are angry. No, people have been angry for a very long time. People have seen their relatives, their friends, their families, their loved ones suffer at the hands of police. Ignorant people have died due to police brutality, and the police have seen that the system is so corrupt and so racist, to the extent that even in broad daylight, with cameras, different cameras, with CCTVs, he still did not have, you know, the mind, the heart to stop what he was doing, because he was, I know that he was confident that he will get away with it, like he has gotten away with a lot of murders, a lot of racial attacks. Okay, so I know that racial profiling is everywhere. Yes, in America, in the US, it's on a different level than maybe here in Europe. Here in Europe, it's really like very systematic. They'll get you frustrated, you know, through their systems and all of that. But then we need to stand, we need to come together and stand against it now and now, before these bad energy spreads, you know, to other parts of the world, because it's serious. And on this note too, I would like to, you know, talk about our internal problems. We as Black people also have problems. I think sometimes it's like, sometimes it's like we are the problem, because within us we have, you know, this gun killings and shootings here and there in the Black neighborhoods and all of that. I think this is the time that we should come together. This is the time that we should uplift our youth. We should try as much as possible to, you know, tone down on some of these negative vibes and energies that we release, and make sure that, you know, our internal disputes are resolved, so that we can be able to stand firm, stand together and face it. I know there is crime in every race. We cannot do away with it. That's human beings for you. Definitely people are bad, and even some of these gang shootings and killings that happen in the Black community, you will be surprised that not all of them are initiated by Black people. Sometimes white kids move from their, you know, their homes and come to Black neighborhoods to commit some of these crimes, but then it's always associated with Black people. So this is the time that we have to come together and make sure that some of these things are brought to light, so that, you know, when we are trying to support each other in moments like this, it doesn't, you know, people don't bring our own weaknesses against us and make it look like we deserve less because we treat each other badly. And I also would like to encourage everybody out there to support the agenda of buying from Black companies, Black owned businesses, because like Karl Marx also said that, you know, those who own and control or who have economic power are people who also wield power within the society. So we should also try and increase our economic power. We should also try and make sure that we have a say in major, you know, aspects of our economy. Then I think that we can also have a chance to negotiate things better. So because when you come to the bargaining table with nothing, almost nothing, you know, then your views and your opinions are not really taken into consideration. This is also to all African leaders. Let the greed stop, let the corruption stop, invest in the country, invest in the youth, create opportunities that are attractive for people in the diaspora to come back. Because there are lots of things that people would like to give back, but the systems are not working. And it's like, you know, that's the problem, because if your own parents, for example, don't treat you right, then if you go outside and people are treating you right, they expect you to take it, because even your own parents are not treating you right. And that is the situation here, because African leaders seem to care less about its people. So it gives a group of people the right to think that they can just mistreat you and yet go away. It's very unfortunate. I remember 2 or 3 years ago, we had 3 girls who were kidnapped in Ghana, and then some few months after, there were some Canadian citizens who also came to Ghana and were kidnapped. And within like 3 days or 1 week, these Canadian citizens were found. How did the police do it? Why were they caring so much about the Canadian citizens? And it took like a year and over for our case to be found. And when they were found, according to what the report that came out, all three were dead. So this is really pathetic. It's really pathetic. We need to rethink. And probably because the Canadian embassy, the Canadian government was putting pressure on the Ghana government to find its citizens. If they had not found its citizens, I am sure it could have, had a drastic effect on, the relationship between Canada and Ghana. And this is what our African leaders need to be doing. See what happened in China. We have the resources. The world depends on Africa. Most of the things that the world is operating on emerges from Africa. Yet we are the people who have little. I'm pleading with our African leaders to come in to do something. Anywhere that you are as an African, try to also emancipate yourself. Try to also, make an impact, okay? Make an impact. And I'm sure that everything would be good. I know we've come a long way, because some years back, when our forefathers came to America, came to Europe, they could not even sit in the same bars with white people. They could not even sit on the seats where a white person is seated. But now, someone fought for it, and now we are enjoying it. And we owe it to posterity to also do something so that our children, our children's children's children would also have a better life. Black Lives Matter. Every life matters. Yes. Let's stop racism. Let's start treating each other as human beings. I don't think that I have a chance to choose that I want to come to this world as a black person, as a white person. No one has power over that, and so no one should be sentenced to death because of something that they do not have power over. Let's think twice. Let's be human. Let's stop the police brutality. Police officers, police are those that are supposed to protect us, but unfortunately, that's not what is happening in the US now. People are suffering. And after this George Floyd incident, a lot of videos have surfaced on the internet, and you see police officers like, come on. I think they need to give them proper training. And it's I've been there. Like, I've had some kind of racist experience. And if you are there, you will know that sometimes they provoke you to the core that if you don't hold yourself, like, you become aggressive. You would exchange with them, like, you would like to explain yourself. And it's just good. It's not easy. It's not easy. Let's spread love. Let's live together. And know that we are people. We are first of all humans before any other thing comes. So on this note, I want to say that I'm very happy that these officers have been arrested and charged, and I hope that the trial will go on well and justice will be served, so that at least the family and everybody would be at rest. I think from now on, they should put measures and policies in place that would hold police officers accountable for what they do, so that they would be able to think through very well before taking any action against any civilians. Let's also try to respect our police officers. Let's try to cooperate with them. Let's make sure that, it's a give and take thing. So please, I know that we have a long way to go as a society. And also remember to call out on all your white friends who are racist through their deeds, their comments, whatever. Make sure you put them in check. Make sure you remind them. Yes, maybe they would not talk about you in that way, but they talk about other people in a very racist way. So if you're my white friend, take note. Yes, you are my friend, but make sure you don't come to me with, you know, all your racist comments. My workplace, they know me. If you come, I'll make sure that I put you in your place. Yes. So till then, I'll see you on my next video. My next video, I'm going to talk about Uda, the Nigerian lady who was raped and killed in Benin State. It's also something that I can just not let it go. Like, I can't just overlook it. I need to talk. I need to talk. It's time that we talk for the vulnerable. We talk for people with less power in the society, because it's just too much. Like, I can't fathom how low humanity have gone to rape and kill somebody. What wrong did she do to you? So please keep tuned. Stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe so that you get notifications on new videos that I release. Until then, it's your girl Legacy. I love you all.